A very good evening to everyone watching. Thank you for joining us on the evening review this chilly Monday evening. My name is Taiwan Jabala, your host. Let's have a quick break and return for our interview. Tonight on the show, we are joined by Joel Matheus, who was until a week ago the chairperson of the Namibia Sports Commission. He is part of the board that was removed by Sports Minister Agnes Tjongarero from that board following weeks of back and forth conversations around this position of the chief administrator of the Namibia Sports Commission. Thank you, Mr. Matheus, for joining us.
Thank you, Toivo, for having me on the show. It's a great pleasure.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, last week, your board, that includes yourself as chairperson, was removed. The statement, a very, very short statement from the Minister of your line ministry, which was sports, says that you were being removed for insubordination. What is it that you did wrong? Why are you defying your authority?
Thank you for the question, Toivo. I think that is not the case. We never defy the authority in terms of what she is claiming. To our understanding and how we have followed the books, we had every authority and power to act in the manner which we have acted. I think it's probably just a matter of interpretation by the appointing authority, thinking that we do not have the power to defend the institutions or to make decisions what we believe is in the best interest of the institutions. By claiming that we were subordinating her effort, those are not true. Because we have every evidence that is indicating that we have communicated clearly, and we have also set our position clearly, and we have also requested for dialogue for us to address and iron out the issues of concern, which was not entertained, and therefore we still believe and strongly stand on our ground that we have done nothing wrong, that have provoked what the appointing authority have done.
The key bone of contention here is around the position of Freddy Mwiya. Of course, the board has conducted a performance evaluation at the end of his contract. I understand there was even an independent body consultancy that was brought in that together with the board then assessed him, and he was deemed to have performed quite well. But the minister insisted that the position must be re-advertised. Where do you think, as a matter of fact, maybe because you were recommending to the minister for the reappointment of Mwiya, maybe give us a bit of context why you thought it was necessary to reappoint him.
Yeah, definitely it was necessary. Toivo, this is a practice, it's a regular practice in SOE. If you provide or employ somebody on a performance contract, we believe that the performance is the parameter in which you consider to make decisions of reappointment. And the Act have also clearly stipulated that the chief administrator's term can be renewed. And it's unfortunate that the Act does not say what are the conditions, but as a board responsible to ensure the governance and strategic directive of the institutions, we have entered into a performance agreement with the chief administrator, and which was the ground of us recommending him to be reappointed. The fact of the matter remains that the gentlemen have performed, have met the requirement. We have ticked the box that we were expecting him to do. And we have seen and concluded that, yes, he have done his job and therefore he deserved another term. But unfortunately, it was not the same understanding with the line minister, because the Act unfortunately says she is the appointing authority in this regard. But what is not very clear to her, and what she probably do not want to understand, is that this recommendation is only done on the recommendation of the board. And in fact, the Act read that the minister must appoint the chief administrator on recommendations. That basically means that it's her responsibility, but she have to do that under a condition, and that condition is the recommendation of the board. And that is exactly what we have done, and we have done nothing wrong with that. And maybe looking back at the evaluation process, it was a lengthy process. It's something that we really have considered, and for some times it's a process that took over 2 months that we have done so. And as a board, collectively, we have sat and looked at the evaluation, and there's a report to that effect that have suggested what the gentlemen have done, and it have indicated that he have performed quite well and deserve to do that. You know, what we basically have done, we have provided all the empirical evidence. It's not just the board that thugged their thumb and decided the gentlemen must be reappointed. It was an issue of providing all the empirical evidence to our disposals, and we have provided through a thick document and all the write-up that have led to that, and which we were expecting that the minister supposed to review that and probably challenge our evidence to say, no, this gentleman did not perform well, and therefore I am challenging your evidence. On that ground, we could probably be sitting around the table and discuss the matter. But it's unfortunately not the case. The minister just decided that it have to be re-advertised, and the incumbent is also entitled to reapply for the positions, which I don't understand. Why should we go through such a process and even give the person an opportunity to apply again? You know, and for us, we could understand if maybe the minister could reject based on reasons, but to indicate that public interest, it's a clear indication that there is maybe a danger for this gentleman to be there, but the minister unfortunately did not bring it to our attention, which we have at several occasions requested that we look forward to receive these information. That is indicating that there is some dangers to the public interest if this gentleman is being kept in this office. But there was no response from her side, and unfortunately, it led to what it have led today.
Yes. Well, I think what seemed to have angered the minister to pull the chain for the last time, as far as this issue was concerned, as far as your board was concerned, is when your board appointed Mr. Mwiya in an acting capacity. I think she saw that as some sort of undermining of her authority. What would you say around the decision of the board to make him an acting head of the commission?
Yeah, somebody will just perceive this as an undermining of authority if you don't understand what the rules are saying. Because the rules clearly indicate, and I can read it to you, yes. Jabela. It says, whenever the office of the chief administrator becomes vacant or the chief administrator is for any reason unable to perform his or function, the commission might designate any staff member of the commission, or if circumstances require, appoint any person to act as a chief administrator until the vacancy is filled and the chief administrator is able to perform his or her functions. This chapter, unfortunately, you have a situation where you have a recommendation that is with the minister, and the minister does not want to dialogue, to discuss the matter why she is refusing. And as a board, we have this power. It says it's the commission. And we have seen it fit that we bring the current chief administrator to act, and we have indicated that to the minister in our communication to her, that we perceive that this problem is not solved. We have not seen any reason whatsoever why minister is refusing. And therefore, we will put him in the acting capacity on a month-to-month basis, and every month it will be renewed until such time that the problem is resolved, until such time that the board sit with the minister and deliberate on this. The issue is that the minister never was interested to talk with us, never was interested to sit with us and deliberate on this issue as a board. And that is where the problem is. She should understand that this is our responsibility, you know, and it could never in any way should anger somebody if somebody is performing his duty. It should never be the case. You know, I don't understand why she got angry and take such an unconstitutional decision. Yes.
Indeed. We go for a quick break, Mr. Matheus, and then we revert. We continue our conversation. Now, Mr. Matheus, there was a very lengthy article that was in the Namibian, I don't know whether it was Friday, sometime last week. And it was talking about allegations of corruption, maladministration, how the minister instituted an investigation at the Namibia Sports Commission and have their findings forwarded to the board for the board to act or something to that effect, and the board did not take any action. What can you tell us about that?
I think the article in the Namibian, it was biased because it was one-sided. You could see it's somebody that have received just information and never even mind to interrogate the other party, what have happened. Yes, it's true. There were some accusations that was made, and this accusation was made by some of the staff of the commissions, and the minister have decided to entertain that. We have it on good ground that she was even robbing the anti-corruptions to come on board, but the anti-corruption have realized that they did not have sufficient ground to carry on investigations. But however, the minister have put up her committee, which was anyway also not legal, because the only body that is is powered to put the investigation in place of any SOE is a public enterprise. But she never mind to follow that procedure. She put her committee in place, which we also not deny to cooperate. Because if they is suspicious of maladministrations, and why should we say, no, we don't want? We allow the committee to come and do their job. And they were there, and they have done what they are supposed to do. And from all those accusations that was brought to the attention of the minister, maybe there's one or two things. The most of them were false, false claim. I can show you the letter that she received and the letter she sent to us that is having all these long accusations, which were just the accusation of gossip and hatred, in my view. It was nothing legitimate to constitute investigations. But however, we have received the report, and we were given, I think 10 days to respond to that report, and we have responded in 12 days. And that report is at the minister's table. No, they cannot claim that we didn't respond to it. And those that have been found to have mismanaged or misbehaved, the process is in place for disciplinary measures. We have to understand that this is an institution that is working with procedures and processes. You can't just because you hate somebody, you jump on Toivo's head because I hate. It does not work like that. You have to follow the procedures. There is policies in the institutions that have to deal with disciplinary measures, and those policies will be followed. But just to give a clear point in this regard is that the report is with the minister. The minister is having that respond from our side. And if she wants, it's her report. She can share it with the public. It was not for us. And she have every right to come back to us and say, I am not satisfied with what you have reported. But it's now an unfortunate situation. She have fired us unceremonially, and even if she was not satisfied, I don't know to whom must she come and ask now. At least she had every possibility to engage us. But she have unfortunately took these decisions. We are no more in the institution. I'm no more accountable to report whatever this institution is concerned, because I am now an external member of this institution.
One of the issues, one of the things that has made headlines for a very long time is around the remuneration of the chief administrator, that he started at a particular salary scale, and that his salary was then increased astronomically without the blessings of the board. How truthful is that?
You know, Jabera, the issue of the salary, you know, it was blown out of proportion by some of the board members, and they have presented to the public as if they were never part of this discussion, which was never true. You know, if you go to our board record, it will indicate that in fact this issue was discussed by the board, and you know, this came as a result of restructuring, both the human structure and the salary restructuring. And as a board, we were given that presentations to look how we can restructure our institutions, because we're also coming in new in the system. And we in fact had discussions, and these discussions have concluded that, okay, we understand the presentation, and I think it's very important that we should also remunerate our CEO in pair with others. Why must we discriminate him if others are in those salary scales and ours is way too below in that scales? And it was given to the chairs and the vice chair to further deliberate on it and submit it to the line minister. And that is what we have done. Unfortunately, at the time, the vice chair have distanced herself, which was not the case. The record is there, she was in the meeting. It's not my ground to force her or to come and say otherwise. That's what she wished, that is her positions. And this went to the line minister. And we have started implementing at the point, because we have understand that it was with the line minister at the time, and the minister is informed that this is what we wanted to do, and this was our intention. It's unfortunate it come back otherwise to say, no, you are not supposed to implement first. You're supposed to have the minister's blessing before you move forward with this. But yes, as we speak, the matter went up to the EG, as you know, and the EG gave an opinion in that regard. And the opinion was deliberated at both levels, and we have made our decisions. And that decision was challenged by the executive to say, no, I think you're making these decisions, it was not fair, and you did not put many issues into considerations. And that decision was unfortunately challenged with us as a board. It was challenged to the minister, who gave a letter to us to say, Minister, I think it was not correct what the board have done, because they feel that he was the appointing authority at the time. It's unfortunate that by the time the complaint came in, the sitting minister at the time was moved to another ministry, and a new minister come in to office. And the issue was again deliberated until it went to public enterprise, who is responsible to regulate public enterprise and observe the operation and governance of public enterprise in the country. And they have made their position on this matter. In fact, they have established that it was in the 19th percentile, as it was claimed that it's not there. And they have also directed that it will be contained for the next 2 years, no increment. But however, it was already contained since the contentions came into play. It was already contained. It's now for the last, I think, 4 years, and another 2 years ahead again. The gentleman will not get any increment to be able to have the benefit of annual inflations. And I think the case is now put to rest. The minister have written me a letter that have indicated to me that, Chairman, this is the positions, and this is the directive from public enterprise. And therefore, this is what you have to do. You have to contain the salary for the next 2 years again. And we have put this matter to rest. And to my surprise, the minister have used this matter again in the same letter that used to fire us, while she is having a letter that is in my position that is saying that we have put the matter to rest. Yes.
Indeed. The final question then, Joel, is in one of your letters that I saw to the minister, you were insinuating at scenarios where the minister had appointed other heads of SOEs under her ministry without putting these positions up for advertisement. And you were sort of arguing to say, where's the consistency if other heads of SOEs under a ministry are allowed to have their contracts renewed, but you're not allowing the same for Freddy Mwiya. Were you referring to something specific, or were you just blowing hot air?
In this specific case, you are very much aware that the contract for NYC was renewed in 2020, and that is what we were referring to, even if we were not specific.
Yes.
Because it's something that she have done before.
Yeah.
It's not that she is dealing with this matter for the first time. You know, I think it was just the consistency. We are not much aware about the condition around the matter, but we are aware that she have practiced that before, and we have seen no challenge for her to do that again. But however, we consistently experienced resistance from her side and continuously insisting that the position must be re-advertised. But unfortunately, these situations, if we could have gone back and reversed the board decision, it will bring the board into disrepute with the chief administrator, because we have made the decisions and he is aware of that decision, that yes, I am recommended, the board was happy with my performance. Why should you go back? And those are some of the issues we are talking about, that if the minister could come to us with empirical evidence why, and we could also prove to say yes, but the minister is having evidence why you should, and this evidence are material to the case of appointment, then we could maybe consider. But at the moment, there is no evidence, there is no explanations, there is nothing that came forth. And unfortunately, as a board, we have refused to entertain that, and that's what brought the bone of contentions between the board and the minister. But I want the public to understand that the board is there to work in the interest of the institutions, not in the interest of the shareholders. And we must make sure that we put in force and we work on those interests all the time. And the public might think, yes, the board is refusing to implement the minister's directive. It's not the case. I just wanted to clarify that the board can get directive from the minister, and I can read for you the specific clause, which is section 14. It says, subject to subsection 2, the minister may give the commission such written directive of general characters relating to the exercise of the commission's function as appears in the minister's necessary in the public interest. But however, it's further in subsection 2, it says, before giving the commission any directive under subsection 1, the minister must inform the commission in writing of the proposed directive, and the commission must submit in writing to the minister its view on the proposal, including the possible effect on the finance and other resources of the commission. This is an issue of dialogue. The minister have some interest, want to give directive, you just don't give directive. As a commission, also as a board, we have the possibility and the authority to view that and to be able to advise if it's in the best interest of the institutions. And we have done so. We have informed the minister that it's not in the best interest of the institutions. It will end up in court cases, and we have seen that. The court cases are on. There's already one court interdict that the incumbent have won, and we don't know where it's going to end. And if we would have continued, it could be now the board and the institutions. The money that's supposed to go and help the athlete and the federation could now be invested in court cases. That it's having endless period that will cost the institution years of money that we cannot recover. Indeed.
Mr. Matheus, thank you very much for coming to the show.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, wonderful. That was Joel Matheus, who was until recently the board chairperson of the Namibia Sports Commission, reflecting on the issue that got them removed last week by Minister Agnes Tjongarero. Thank you for watching.